Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living. My name is Gary, and today we're making an apple pie. So this is a test, this is a test, this is a test, this is a test. Got my new microphone today, and I'm just so excited, and I really hope it works. Because the other one, which was a Rode, it lasted 2 strong good years. I mean, I was using it all the time. I was taking it outside, I was taking it inside, I was bouncing the camera all around the place, and one day it just stopped working. So now, as you can see here in front of you, this is going to be an apple pie. Yes. And first I have to see if the camera is working or not. So I'm going to stop the camera and check this out, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living, a whole food, plant-based lifestyle.
Alright, so you guys know I've been having microphone problems. I believe that's resolved. We have brand new batteries, part of the problem. The batteries weren't lasting even a full session. And we have a new microphone, so now you can hear me. Okay, so this is an apple pie, a vegan apple pie. This thing here is a giant beetle beating machine. Linda and her mother used to use it for making huge pies and bake cakes and stuff. I'm just curious to see if I can mix the dough in it and save myself having to grab it and use my hands like I did last time. This is my second attempt at the pie. The first pie I made was delicious. We've been eating it in the morning, a slice here, a slice there, a slice of oven every time. Worked out really good, which is why I'm making this video. This video is all about the men's bake-off. Every October, the men all get together from our church and they bake. And our group is called Potter's House. And I guess they're getting ready to pot ourselves. And so we bake. Now there are much better bakers than I am in this group. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to make an apple pie again. So these are the ingredients. You're going to need vegan butter, about a cup. Some vegan sugar, about 6 green apples, something to peel them with. This is the sifter for the all-purpose flour. You're going to need 3 cups of this, cornstarch, sea salt, pumpkin spice. If you just saw my latest video where I made pumpkin bread, you can see that I've been going through this jar. I'm gonna have to buy another one of these jars. Pumpkin spice. This is, pumpkin pie spice, really delicious. I'm gonna put cranberries in it. You're gonna need some wax paper, 2 large bowls, bowl 1 and bowl 2. You're gonna need a pie crust. I like to use glass. Zest for the lemon, and maybe a little bit of lemon juice too. Different appliances to be able to carry and cover everything. Measuring spoons, measuring cups. I believe that's it. All right, so right away we're gonna get started with our flour. We're gonna make our dough right now. All right, so obviously I can't make the dough, everything's in the way, so I'm removing everything out of the way. need 1/2 glass of cold water. So this was 1/2 glass of water, and I poured in lots of ice cubes in it. So you do have to keep that. That'll help you take care of the dough. So while Linda is making coffee, what I'm going to do is I scooped out the vegan butter and I'm putting it in this 1 cup container. And I'm going to freeze this in the freezer for about an hour. And when we get ready to make the dough, we'll add this to it and it'll make it a nice flaky crust. Okay, so that's what I'm doing next. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so the first thing I did is in this KitchenAid, I put in this dough. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna measure the flour. Well, now you need 3 cups of flour, but before we measure it and just drop it in here, I'm going to sift it through my electric sifter. And this will help hydrate it, but also get all the clumps out of it, but you can. Now we did go to the store just the other day and bought a brand new container of gold metal all-purpose flour, which I'm trying to open. Use a butter knife to make sure it's level. Okay, so once you get your 1 cup, put it in your sifter. We're going to put all 3 cups in. That will have room now to get it. And then we're going to sift it. This is the best part of this thing. Isn't that magic? That's helpful to know. We're sifting it into the pan that's used in this mixer. It just makes it easier. And that's that. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we have to add a teaspoon of salt. And then after that, you add 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then you take your mix and you mix it. This is a good time to mix it because it doesn't have you can't over mix it, it's dry. You will need a rolling pin. We could use this really cool one over here. Okay, so now that the flour is in the KitchenAid tub with this special open, what we're going to do next is we're going to cut out the butter and start getting it going. All right, so now that we've done it mixed from the mixer, we're gonna start mixing it by hand. And you see this gravel type look, looks like sand. That's what you want. And I'm gonna add a tablespoon of water at a time. All right, so the batter is starting to come together. As you can see, I'm having a little trouble with the spatula, so I'm gonna get my hands into it by taking a little bit of the flour and putting it on my hands, and I'm gonna hand knead it. All right, so now we're going to cut it in half using this high quality butter knife. And then we're just going to separate. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make it a disc so we can put it inside of a plastic bag and to get cold in the freezer. And then there. So we're just going to do this to it and seal it. And then we're going to do the other one. We'll just put in a disc. All right, so this is going to go in the freezer next. Meanwhile, while this gets nice and cold, we're going to eat lunch. The actual recipe calls for 2 cups of flour. I added an extra cup, a little bit more vegan butter, because I wanted to make another dish, the dough. So that's why. You're in their video, you're just going to see 2 cups. But you'll have seen 3 cups, and that's the reason why. To make the crust, you have to have this really, really cold. See, 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to do with these, we're going to put them back in the freezer, and we're going to save this one, and I'm going to experiment on making a pizza much later on. I want to get good at this, and it's just going to take time for me to find a recipe that works perfect every time. The last time I made it with almond flour. Oh, the dough was just delicious. But with the all-purpose flour, it's not as sweet, and it's a little bit different. The next step we're going to do is we're going to remove the stickers, wash all our apples, and peel them. Then after that, we're going to core them, and we're going to slice them up. In the process of that, we're also going to zest 1 lemon, and we're also going to save the juice of this lemon. You're going to zest first before you pull the juice out. Otherwise, the lemon is floppy, and you're not going to be able to get a really good surface to get the zest out. You need one of these zesters. It's really cool. And as you're zesting, it shows up on the top here. Okay, the next step to do is to really peel the apples. What I'm doing first is I peeled 2 of them just to give you an example. And what I'm doing is I'm zesting the lemon right now with this zester. You see the top comes off on the top. Little tray here that's already built in. Then after that, we'll cut the lemon in half, and we'll use juicer. We have a glass all ready for it. This will go right over the top here, and we'll keep mixing the apples as we slice them. So what's going to be happening is I'm just going to zest this, instantly go right directly into the peeling process, which is basically just using a standard peeler. And I'm going to finish the rest of these 3 apples, slice them up. I'm going to speed through this so that you don't have to see me peel each apple. So we have our zest, we have our entire lemon juice in there. Now we have to add the other ingredients to these apples. Now we're going to get the pumpkin spice. And the pumpkin spice we need 2 teaspoons. Quarter teaspoon. We love the Himalayan sea salt, so that's our favorite. And then 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch. This is my wife's recipe that we turned vegan. All right, 3 teaspoons and a couple crumbs more. All right, you mix it up. Oh yes, I'm using my hands. I get to lick them afterwards. Okay. And apples are gonna have that really delicious pie pumpkin spice all over them. Nope, that's not good. Good thing it's a clean counter. Now I bet you've been wondering, what are these bowls all about? Well, we put in ice cubes on the bottom, and this is sitting on top of the ice cubes, and the purpose of that is that when we wrap the dough, we have a cool place to put it. That's what this is all about. Okay, so we have to add more sugar, and we want to add our cranberries. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 1/2 cup of sugar. And right away we're going to add our cranberries. And then I'll mix it up with my hands. One thing you get to do a lot of is washing your hands in the kitchen, right, honey?
Yeah. You gotta wash your hands left and right all the time.
Okay.
You don't want to contaminate the food you're making.
The apples are all ready to go. They have all of their ingredients. What we are going to do a little different, instead of only putting a 1/4 cup, we're going to add an additional 1/4 cup of cranberries. I might be pushing the envelope on that, but Linda and I just love cranberries, and we think it would really be a... Okay. So we're going to put in just like that. And I'll make sure to mix it really well before I put it in the pie. Oh, honey, we have 3 of them left. I think we can put them in, huh?
Oh yeah, I think 3. That's right. It's missing some.
So by the way, these are ocean spray cranberries we buy in the Sam's Club giant container.
Dried cranberries, not fresh.
Dried cranberries. They're gluten-free. That says they're peanut-free. I don't know why a cranberry would have a peanut on it, but you know, I guess they have to say these things. They're really a good bargain. Okay, let's get back to it. Now we're going to put this away on our back counter. Okay, we've got the filling all done. So what we're going to do is we're going to blind bake the bottom crust. So we're going to turn on our oven at 350 degrees and start it. And then hopefully on this pie, the bottom crust will be cooked and the top crust will be delicious and everything will work out. So we're starting that. I'm going to continue cleaning up the kitchen and we'll get back to you when we get ready to do the dough. We pulled out the dough. There's two of these. I put one in the pot where it's got the ice on the bottom to keep it cold. And we're going to put our tools to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a tablespoon so we don't contaminate our flour. And we're going to, I'd lay it over there, that's the wrong one. We're going to lay it over the top here. Just kind of mess it around a little bit. Then we're going to put our frozen dough that we've kept in the freezer for over an hour over the middle, and we're going to lay this on top of it, and then we're going to knead it so it's nice and hard.
Use your rolling pin. Don't
My
use
what?
your hands. Your hands are important. Certainly worth a try. Better ease the paper off.
Not as easy as it appears.
You got breakage, right?
No, it's kind of falling inside. It's not entirely where it needs to be. All right, so we're putting the parchment paper on because we don't want our beans to fall, actually to cook in the pie, the bottom crust. We're going to put this around carefully. And we're going to be using dark red kidney beans. And this is 16 ounces, which is a pound. Now we didn't do this in our first pie, we just put it all together. This time we want to make sure the crust is done on the bottom. Now we're going to move over to the oven. And we moved the metal grates down so we would have it in the center of the oven. And it will take 10 minutes of blind baking without the filling. All right, see you in a few minutes. The ringer is rung, so we're gonna turn it off real quick. What we're gonna do is put the pie in for an additional 5 minutes because it's still very raw. Don't forget to set your timer. Okay, so what I did is, this is the second time around. I'm taking the dough out of this nice refrigerated area, and I added a tablespoon of my flour. Surprisingly warm. We're going to put it on top and we start managing it. They should invent this thing where you put the dough in and then right away it makes it for you.
It's called a pasta maker.
What's that?
It's called a pasta maker.
Oh, yeah.
You thought it was a unit tester and it's not. Oh, the crust.
Okay. All right, so what we'll do is we'll grab our mitts, pull the crust out. Let's grab it. Give it the cook. All right, so we're gonna move the temperature on the oven to 450. We're gonna leave it in there for 15 minutes. And then after that, Gary gets to pick up the kitchen. After that, don't forget to set up your timer too. Okay, so the oven's at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on the bottom rack to catch the delicious juices that flow out of the pie. We're gonna put this with my mitts, because it's very hot, in the oven. We'll open the door, put this on the bottom. And the reason why you don't want to put it on the very bottom of your pie is because you want it to continue cooking. You want to cook the bottom, even though we pre-baked it. All right, now we're going to set the timer for 15 minutes at this higher temperature. Okay, so we're going to set it for 15 minutes. All right, so we'll see you in 15 minutes when we reduce the temperature from 450 to 350. So the first thing we do, we turn off the ringer. We turn off the oven because that's really the only way we can reduce the temperature. So we turn it off, bake it, put it 350 degrees, start. Didn't take it long, it's at 350 right now, and we don't have to take it out. All right, so the buzzer rang, 50 minutes has gone and gone. And now it's time to look at the results. As soon as we find the mitts to get the pie out. Now we're gonna turn off the alarm and pull the pie out. Oh my goodness, the pie looks heavenly.
How does it smell?
And we don't have YouTube
Smell-o-vision.
We don't have YouTube smell-o-vision, but let me tell you that you want to make this pie because it is extraordinarily delicious. You just pull the pie out of the oven, but you're going to wait a full hour before you start cutting into it and eating it. I know that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me because it's going to be sitting in the refrigerator waiting until we have the men's bake-off.
This is the pie in the refrigerator, right before we go to our party.
Thank you so much for watching us, but the point being is that this is a delicious vegan pie. What I added on the very top is just a slight amount of vegan egg wash, and I'll put that down in the comment section if you're curious about it. We'll see you soon in our next video. Bye-bye now.
If you like what you see, subscribe. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up.